Hey, what's up guys? This is Astranox and I'm back with another Epic 7 video. So at this floor 81, I've been like knocking my head against the wall on this floor. I am avoiding bringing Diene in here. I know how it's gonna turn up. Like, we don't have Diene. I see Diene, I just run. Or stuff like that. So I'm just gonna go with this group composition. I know like you cannot please everyone, and I know some of you don't have Angelica, and to be honest, there's multiple setups that you can be running for this place. This is not even optimal, but here's my strategy. I burn the boss on wave 1 so I don't have to deal with the other adds if you can control them, lowering the damage output, stunning, applying debuff like attack down debuff, decrease hit chance debuff. It's gonna make this whole thing so much easier. But look at that, like if you get unlucky you get bursted down. Like Taranor Guard is almost dead. I just started the battle. Those are things you have to deal with in the Abyss. Just like a ton of damage going on the wrong hero, and that could be the end of your run. Now there's some bugs with wave 2, the boss on wave 2. There's a skill that he can summon a Schuri if he's the only one standing. So even if you kill one Schuri and you leave one alone, just a normal Schuri, fire Schuri, he still summons a second Schuri, when the skill clearly states that if he's the only one alive, he will summon another one. So there's one thing that's messed up, and it's that one. Then there's the other fact that when he gets a debuff, the next time he gets attacked, the attack will miss, it will evade, he will evade the attack, and then remove all debuffs applied onto him. But what is happening is that the normal Shuris, when they're going, he's like losing debuffs, even though he didn't go yet. And I was checking the skills on the normal Shuris, and there's nothing that is like all 3 skills, nothing about removing debuff. It could be that they have a passive that we cannot see, because we can't see passives in the game guide. So it could be that they have some passive that remove debuff, and it's not in the guide. So yeah, there's that. The boss gets stronger as time goes. He's getting more attack, he's getting more crit chance. There's a bunch of debuffs going off on your team, and it's really hurting. It's hurting really bad. Now that's the thing. If I debuff him here with Kluri and then attack him with Bellona, the attack of Bellona is gonna miss. It's gonna miss because of this passive. If the caster is debuffed when attacked, evades once while dispelling all debuffs. Can be activated once per turn. So you can just, like, there would be a strategy that you just keep applying debuff and attacking him and just focus on him. But like the Schuri, the normal Shuris are removing debuff off of him. He's removing debuff off of himself. You're missing attack when you're applying a debuff on the next attack. So yeah, super annoying. Now you take out Shuris, and this thing says if the caster is the only surviving ally, summons Schuri. Right? If the caster is the only surviving ally, Watcher Schuri, he will summons Schuri. But I've taken one Schuri out and left one alive, so he wouldn't summon one, but he's summoning a second one either way. So yeah, and this penetrates 100% defense. If you get unlucky, it just targets one of your squishy hero, and that's the end of it. Unless you're close to killing him, and at that point you can just if that happens, well, you can just burst him down. So now I'm gonna go full offense on Watcher Schuri, and hopefully I don't epic fail here again, because I've tried this a bunch of times. He cannot heal himself, so at least that's that. Now I'm gonna attack him. He's just gonna remove the debuff here. Boom, it's gone. Also, I have Falconer Kluri, she's Earth, and there's 2 Fire Shuris, which are dealing quite a bit of damage on this Kluri, and they are targeting her quite often. They cannot be buff debuff applied onto 2 of my damage dealers. I will just use skill 1 here. Now here, let's go. Let's deal some damage. And let's take off the speed buff on Watcher Schuri. Now the attack of Taranor Guard is just gonna miss. There we go, he missed. Remove the debuff. Targeted, 15% damage increase on this Angelica now. And you have to watch for his skill 3, which is on cooldown now. So I don't care, and I'm just gonna pop the Guardian here, because I'm just gonna go all in on this thing and just work on Watcher Schuri, because he's really annoying. Such an annoying floor. Let's just see if I can pull through this thing. Getting more attack and crit chance. Now when the normal Shuris are attacking a hero that has a debuff, boom, they have 100% crit chance. And when their attack lands as a critical hit, what's happening is that they're boosting another 15% for their team, not including themselves. So every time they attack, they are buffing the other heroes by 15%. And if the target is debuffed, it's let's just heal here. Skill 3. It's ready now. Apply this thing. If the target is debuffed, it's another 15%. So 30% combat readiness boost every time. Every time they're attacking a target that's debuffed. They remove it? No, he doesn't remove it, because that's the thing. If you just like use defense down multiple times on him. Look at all these debuffs now. Just look at that. Watcher Schuri is about to go again, because he didn't go enough already, right? This thing's ready. He's just gonna like one shot one of my squishy damage dealer. Here we go. And here's the gamble. Oh, he went on Angelica. Thank you. Back on him. The fans down. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Okay, he went though this time. He went this time. 2 souls. He doesn't have speed buff. That was close here. Defense down, missing the attack. Defense down. It comes out to about the same thing, because my crit damage on Bellona is like 100%. I mean 200%. So if it's with defense down, or if it's just a normal crit, both are gonna amount to about the same amount of damage. And to be honest, he has skill 2 ready now. This can trigger a dual attack though. That's the thing. A crit. Now I can pop the Guardian here. Now here's the whole burst coming in before. I'm so close to killing him. So what am I gonna go with? I'm gonna go with skill 1. My whole team's going here. So I could trigger a dual attack with skill 1, or just like remove his speed buff. Apply defense down, which is gonna trigger a miss on Bellona anyways. Or the thing, if I had Taranor Guard, someone else go before Bellona. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have to like attack him multiple times. You apply a debuff, then you miss, and then you you have someone else apply defense down and then attack, but like you cannot go like multiple times before him unless you can manipulate his combat readiness. That's the thing though. Like if you have Lytica, you can control combat readiness, or a hero that has this this strength that just that could be a very strong contender to just like carry you through this fight, to be honest, because you could apply defense down, apply whatever debuff, then attack, then like resets his combat readiness and like go crazy, apply defense down, like boom boom boom. That could be a way to go about it, but to be honest, I don't have an optimal team for this thing. Like my healing output is Angelica with Bloodstone on Bellona, which cannot be fully used because do I go with skill 3 here? I mean, I'm so close. Might as well go with it. Cannot use it fully because I cannot apply defense down, and the defense down is not sticking. So it's like halving my damage output. And I don't have a way to just remove debuffs, which is making them the Schuri, the normal Schuri's crit. It's making him do more damage with this thing. It's if I'm targeted and he's attacking me. No, if I'm targeted, every time I go, it's boosting combat readiness of himself and the other allies. And yeah, there's the whole thing about if you kill a Schuri. I mean, even if you kill a Schuri, it's decreasing the cooldown of his skill 2, which summons a Schuri, and still summons a Schuri even if there's still one alive. So mistranslation or bug or whatever you can call it. And there's the whole thing about him losing debuff. The debuffs are being cleared even though he's not going, even though like when the normal Shuris are going. Something's really off with this fight. But now he's about to go. He's about to pop someone. But you know what, Watcher Schuri? You're pretty much done here. You're pretty much done. I could trigger a dual attack here, or just you can go. Do your best shot, buddy. Do your best shot. You're dead. You are dead. There. Boom. I'm done with you. Alright. So, yep. That's the fight. What's up with this message exactly on the stage clear? Alright, well. What is the next patch has been implemented? How many patch are they doing? I think they're like fixing the abyss now. That's what they might be doing. Next floor. Huh, Devour Rahakan. Alright, it should be interesting. I mean, can it be more bugged than this battle? I don't know. No, I don't know. I made this video, right? And you guys saw the mechanics. I talk about the mechanics and all that. But they might fix some bugs and then it's like, is the video worthless now? Because anyways, what I can tell you is, yes, controlling combat readiness is huge. If you can manipulate that. If they are fixing the boss battle, you just take out one Schuri, leave one alone. It's gonna make things a whole lot easier. Now, you could, I mean, usually when you build a hero, especially as free-to-play players, you have to build a hero that you can use in multiple areas of the game. Kali is not bad, actually. Stealth, barrier stealth, but like she reduced combat readiness multiple times with this thing. She could be used. I mean, she could be used, but let's say if you do have, where is she at? Lytica. I mean, this thing just brings combat readiness to 0. Oh, they changed the wording. It decreased combat readiness by 100% now. It's not like reduce it to 0. You got skill unifier, speed down debuff, which like as soon as you attack the boss, it will be it's gonna land as a miss and it's gonna be taken off. But then you've got decreased hit chance on the first wave. You apply that on all on the whole wave potentially, lowering their damage output. They will be missing, and well, if they trigger it, if they miss, because it's 50% chance for them to miss. But anyways, with my team, really, there's a way to use poison in this fight. It's you could apply poison to the boss and just keep on attacking the normal Shuris, which is gonna make the poison tick. Now, actually, this doesn't work. This doesn't work because right now, because of the bug from the wording on the skill from the boss, it says that if you apply debuffs and you attack him, next time you attack him, he will evade and remove debuffs. But why is he removing debuffs when it's his turn and I didn't attack him yet? So bug there. And the whole thing with the normal Shuris removing debuff on him when they're attacking, another bug there. It's like they have his passive, or like, I don't know what's going on, to be honest. But if they're fixing that, you could apply poison on Watcher Schuri, and just after that you can just attack normal Shuris, leaving the poison effects on the boss, and they will slowly chip away at his health, 5% of his health every tick. Or if they never fix it and they just change the wording and that's the way the fight's gonna go, you can just rely on Daydream Joker. Alright, you can rely on Daydream Joker. And yes, I was using Bellona, but Bellona is like a Daydream Joker pretty much. She deals 4% of the target's max health before skill ups, and this thing goes up to 3% of the target's max health. It scales with defense down, it scales with your crit damage. So if you land a critical hit, it will multiply the damage by your crit damage. So it's 3%, you apply defense down, it becomes roughly 6% of the target's max health. If you have 200% crit damage, it becomes roughly 12% of the target's max health. You can just chip away at the bosses like that way throughout the whole abyss. You don't have to deal with the debuff mechanic unless your defense down is not going to stick. In that case, it's going to take you longer to actually kill the boss, like what's been happening to me basically. So yeah, bring one or more Daydream Joker. Use Guardians with Daydream Joker, or just Guardian alone if you're someone that likes to be in pain and be damaged for a lot of damage and have the fight drag on forever. But you can kill some of the floors using Arky, the first Guardian. He deals 10% of the target's max health and damage plus 45% of the party's attack. That's the hit, that's the damage that's dealt. It doesn't work with defense down. It doesn't take the target off of stealth and all that. Anyways, that's one. Guardian 2, if you want to apply defense down, which always gets resisted, like you get resisted so often. Zeon is dealing 15% of the target's max health and 80% of the party's attack. He requires 60 souls. Our cases, the first Guardian, only costs 30 souls. So with 60 souls with the first Guardian, you can deal 20% of the target's max health and 90% of the party's attack and damage, which is more than the second Guardian, but second Guardian applies defense down. Arky buffs your attack by 20% and your crit chance by 20% with the buff. They're both in the same buff. Forgot what it's called, but that's the buff. Now the Guardian number 3, if you want to reduce your cooldowns, Chromie Riz deals 12% of the target's max health and 70% of your party's attack and damage. It costs 50 souls. So Arcasis, the buff is called Guardian Blessing. 2 turns. Whoever is gonna use it loses 1 turn. The drawback is that you have to use Arcasis twice to hit as much as well, no, you're gonna hit more than the other Guardians because it costs less souls and deals more damage per soul. But you can use this one if you want to reduce your cooldown by 2 turns and deal damage and all that. It's a very effective Guardian if you are relying on poison, or if you just have a bunch of cooldowns that are crucial to the battle. Really, you could go with Guardian number 3. I like to use 1 just because sometime in clutch moments you might only have 30 souls or a bit more, and it's just enough to like use it, and it can turn the tide, or it can just make you win. So yeah, I can show you my gear now. So really, poison in the current state of the fight, unless they fix it, the bugs, go with Daydream Joker. Alright. Now, gear, Bellona. Skill ups first, so Bellona, Taranor Guard, Angelica. I did put speed boots on her, and Kluri. Here's my stats. Doesn't have much attack. It's all about speed, crit damage, effectiveness. Well, effectiveness not quite, because I mean I'm not relying on her defense down debuff, to be honest. It was getting removed all the time anyways. But yeah, it's all about her skill 1 scaling based on the target's max health, and the skill ups are actually boosting that damage. So if you have, let's say, a hero with Daydream Joker, the damage from their attack, from their skill, plus the damage from the Daydream Joker will be multiplied by the skill enhancement bonus damage. That's what I'm hearing, and that's what I'm seems like that's what I'm seeing as well. So showing the gear here. What's good about Bellona is that she can provide some healing from Bloodstone. But to be honest, I was not fully utilizing that because I couldn't have my defense down debuff stick on the boss, so I could heal for double the amount and deal double the damage, knocking him out quicker. You saw how quick it was on the first wave when I was able to have defense down debuff. Taranor Guard with Unity set and Lifesteal. Some sustain out of the Lifesteal set, but Unity is definitely helping out. Good amount of effectiveness. He's set up for Wyvern. He doesn't have too much speed, but I'm mostly relying on dual attack out of him and triggering combat readiness boost of 25%. And he's self-sufficient. Like he's boosting his own attack whenever a dual attack is triggering, so that's pretty cool. And of course, like if I had more crit damage, it would deal more damage. Daydream Joker would have a bigger damage output because it gets multiplied by the critical hit damage. Now moving on to the next hero, Angelica. I know not every one of you have her, but I mean you could use all sorts of other healers, to be honest. Also, it took me multiple attempts to actually kill this wave because of the bugs, mostly because of, like, they're saying that if you do that, if you do something this way, something is not gonna trigger or whatever, but it's completely false. So I had to like try multiple times. Still, it worked out. Prophetic Candlestick, very useful for her cooldowns to be back again. And Kluri, really, Kluri was there for Aureus because, to be honest, applying defense down on the boss has not been working out with the whole way it's set up now with the mechanics and the bugs. So yeah, Aureus, but Falconer Kluri is Earth, so I mean the Shuris were dealing more damage against her. If you bring what's called, yeah, I mean, Earth is taking more damage from fire, and they have a higher chance to land a critical hit. So even if Kluri is not debuffed, right? Because when you're debuffed, the normal Shuris will have 100% critical hit chance against you, meaning that they're gonna buff the enemy team by 15% combat readiness on top of the already 15%. So they're buffing by 30% combat readiness, and if you're Earth, they have a higher chance to critical hit against you, even if you don't have debuff, so that's not helping out. Also, another thing, Watcher Schuri penetrates defense, right? So what's happening is that he has 100% defense penetration with his ultimate, so if you are built with high defense, well, it doesn't matter, he's just gonna penetrate through that. So having more health than defense is more useful, but really Aureus is huge because sometimes the damage is so like bursty that just that 10% defense increase and 15% damage redirection is helping so much. But I mean, if it's 100% penetration for Watcher Schuri, really it's only the resurrection that's helping out. Of course, unless your, let's say, your Kluri or your knight gets targeted, then nothing is being used really. Like, it penetrates defense and it will not redirect damage because it's your knight that got targeted. So yeah, so that's it. I think that's that's it for this fight really. Also Watcher Schuri penetrates, I think it was 50% of your defense with its skill 1. So there's always defense penetration from Watcher Schuri. So like I said, health is more useful than defense for this boss fight. And the thing that is making the battle really hard is the fact that he's constantly removing debuff. If like I was able to, let's say, bring Requiem Roar that decrease attack, it would halve his damage output with attack down debuff. So if I apply this thing before he actually uses his ultimate, it's just cutting the damage output in half, making the boss battle much easier. But it's just the fact that you have to deal with those Schuri that even if you take out, they will come back. And the whole combat readiness manipulation, the speed down, the debuffs, and not having enough heroes able to remove debuffs, just Angelica applying debuff immunity is just not enough to control those debuffs. You could have Wondrous Potion Vial, yes, it will help, but the enemy team is so much faster than you with all the CR manipulation that this is not effective. So if you have Diene, it's gonna make your life so much easier with, like, Barrier is gonna help, the Dispelling is gonna help, Diene is ice, so the Shuris are fire, so that's another thing that's gonna help. And of course, the attack buff, it might help a bit, but the anti-crit buff is big. Even if they're fire and they attack ice, they can still crit, and if you don't have a debuff applied on you, they can still crit and get that 30% combat readiness boost. So yeah, Diene, of course, is gonna be huge. If you don't have Rod of Marilis or Celestine on Diene, you can just you can bring this, you can put Wondrous Potion Vial on her, or if you don't, well, just put Magahara's Tome. So yeah, I hope this was helpful to you. I hope they fixed the bugs, but this was how I handled this fight, and it was yeah, it was something. But remember, Daydream Joker is the key really until it gets nerfed, because it's so good. Works with defense down, works with critical damage if you land a critical hit. So really, if you can bring like 2 damage dealers, even a support with Daydream Joker, I know they won't have like really like a critical hit happening too often, and a critical they're not gonna have too much critical damage, but I mean, they might have high speed and it might add up over time. And don't forget about the Guardians, don't forget about soul burning your skills. If I had a Catus, if you have a Catus, skill 1 applies attack down debuff. Of course, the boss keeps on removing debuffs, but if they fix it, you can rely on debuffs, decrease hit chance, attack down, speed down, and of course defense down to approximately double your damage output. So yeah, good luck with this floor. I'll make a video for the next floor tomorrow when I have time. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm Astranox. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Press the bell icon if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new video. And check out my other videos if you have trouble in, let's say you're watching this video and you're still not that far into the abyss. I have a bunch of guides with tips for the previous floors, so check those out. I usually go through the skills of each of the enemies in the floor, but to be honest, I had to try this floor so many times and things were not going my way, and I was trying to work through the mechanics when things, even the mechanics are not doing the proper thing. So it was very frustrating, to be honest, and my team, like I said, is not optimal for this. There's a lot of room for improvement, but these are the heroes I use in my core, and I just went with it, didn't bring Diene for you guys. So yeah, I mean, Abyss is about trying. If you get unlucky, just keep trying. You'll eventually push through, guys. And of course you might need some more gear, or moving some gear around, or changing your team composition, but I mean, it's not a piece of cake. It's to me, I find it's fun, but it might be different for some of you guys. But anyway, that's why I make these videos, makes your life easier. So yeah, good luck. I'm out for now. The guides and all my other videos, some of them should be showing up on the screen. Check them out if you haven't already. All right, good luck. Peace out for now.